I want to show you some Hogwatch clips because this is the brains of our opposition. This is the brains of our opposition.
Do you know who created government? Who created government? Okay, where is that in the Bible? Because we can't just say that and not back it up. So here it is. Genesis 1:28. You got to know your Bible. It's a story. If you read it the way I read it, it's the best book ever. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. Subdue and rule over it. Rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that rules on the earth.
That
Subdue
moves.
and rule are government words. They're government words. And in this verse, what are we ruling and subduing over? The fish, the birds, and every living thing. Guys, in government, what department is that? God created the Department of Fish and Game. Fish and Wildlife Services. I didn't make it up. It's right there. Look, I'm just saying, you start reading this thing, it's a really fun book. It's really fun. God created government. So I got sent to the harvest field of government. And again, it's a Christmas verse, but Isaiah 9:6. Unto us a child will be born. Unto us a son will be given. And what? The government will rest on his shoulders. Well, guys, again, where is God today? Is he in Jerusalem? In a temple? Where are his shoulders? Head, shoulders, knees, and his shoulders are your shoulders. So if the government rests on his shoulders and we are not in government, helping government, influencing government, if we abdicate government and politics, are we living out Genesis 1 and Isaiah 9? No. So we've got to put this into practice.
And this is the religious quote teaching of these Christian dominionists. And they're going to tell you what it's really about. They don't want to block abortion rights because they care about fetuses or unborn babies or whatever. It's about exercising dominion and control over you.
You're carrying a weapon, a gun there. Right. So if you're pro-life, why are you carrying a gun?
Blackwater Shady, thank you for the gifted sub. Swarm Murr, thank you for the 2 months. It's Mr. Murphy, thank you for the 5 tier ones. Hot iced coffee for the 5 months. A California Guitarzan, thank you for the 9 months. Dragon Army, the 200 bits. MindFad, the 5 gifted subs. Thank you.
We have that freedom in America. I mean, it's important that people recognize that without order, then we're living in chaos. So there has to be order. And there's got to be people that's willing to defend what's right and what's good.
This video does a great job highlighting the contradictions between an anti-choice stance and the same person who holds a pro-gun stance. For him, it all boils down to freedom when you're talking about guns. He alleges this is something that helps maintain order, and we have freedom in this country for him and other people like him to freely carry guns. But when you talk about abortion, it's not so simple. Suddenly, freedom is removed from the equation. He claims to care about fetal tissue and embryos, and those are the most important things in that debate, and that's not really true. You know, a lot of what Roe boiled down to was viability. And when you're talking about a zygote or an embryo, but he equates it with a full human life, and that's just not reasonable. And cutting through that, you can see this isn't really about life at all. It's just about control. And Republicans across the board are now calling for a nationwide abortion ban, and in some red states where trigger laws just went into effect that totally banned abortion, Republican legislators are trying to outlaw people traveling across state lines to practice reproductive care. Not only do they want to ban what you can do with your own body in their state, they want to ban you from going to other states to practice bodily autonomy. And that really shows this is ultimately about control.
What is your opinion on what we can do about the babies that have been killed in schools with gun violence? Do you do anything about that? You're obviously spending a lot of time here and doing this to protect babies' lives. What are you doing, or what do you think can be done, or what can you do to start to prevent that?
I love that question. Increase guns.
And I've talked in other videos about how this really isn't about life, because if it was, they would want to maintain a good quality of life for people. but they have no problem gutting social safety net programs. And beyond that, we live in a unique country in terms of gun violence. The United States leads the rest of the developed world in gun violence, and we've had more mass shootings than days in the United States this year. If you were really worried about lives, wouldn't you want to do something about that problem? You had no issue banning abortions completely. But now all of a sudden, when people are dying from guns because it's your hobby, you think it's your freedom, you don't want to do anything.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
I have an answer. It's the term pro-life. Because we all know how pro-life it is to conduct a violent insurrection of the Capitol. And to the Republicans in Texas, I want to ask you all how this mess helps the quality of life of LGBT people. And yeah, we're all going to be living our best lives with our coasts underwater.
This stems from a misguided interpretation of the Second Amendment. They like to think because that lets people own guns, it gives them free and total reign to do whatever they want, but they conveniently overlook the term well-regulated in the Second Amendment. That never gets mentioned in the discussion. It's always this patriotic freedom and liberty bull. And that has led to some really outrageous gun laws in this country. And that has fueled our uniquely awful gun violence problem. One that, you know, ends lives. Thousands of them every year. But they don't care about life in that equation. I really don't know what to make of this, because pointing out people's hypocrisy isn't really going to change their mind. But what we really need to do is organize and take action, because the right has done a really good job over the past few decades turning these issues like gun rights and an anti-choice agenda into huge galvanizing forces. There are so many single-issue voters just on an anti-choice agenda alone, and the Democrats have been caught flat-footed. Their response since Roe has been overturned has been pathetic. And what we really need to do is codify abortion rights nationwide. People shouldn't have to live in fear that they can't practice bodily autonomy in a red state or be prevented from leaving that state to do so. That is insane. And it flies in the face of this hypocritical freedom and liberty agenda. But we're not going to do anything about that until we get more people in power who will stand with us. And more importantly, not just stand with us with a D after their name, but refuse to govern from a position of fear, as Democrats so often do. Right now, we're seeing report after report that the Democrats aren't looking at packing the court, they aren't looking at carving out an exception from the filibuster to codify Roe, and they aren't looking at various other measures that could help mitigate the pain millions of people are going to feel. Instead, we need bold, clear-eyed messaging and action from Democrats in power to do something about this. But right now, they're sitting back scared, worried they might turn off independence in November. We can't have that anymore, because otherwise you're going to get people like this, who thinks the best thing to do to prevent against school shootings is more guns. They're just going to continue to get their way.
A TikTok that they listened to, where it was like, that was the definition of buy your logic.
I have an answer.
This is like every liberal's favorite activity. This is every liberal's favorite. By your logic, actually pro-life is you're contradicting yourself. And it's like, they know, they get it. They know they are. That's part of the fun. That's part of the fun. You have to be consistent. They don't. Bolden responded to his people upset at his comment on coups.
I do have to ask you also, your comment yesterday on CNN about coups and orchestrating them, it's getting a lot of play, as you know. What would you like to say to that? Obviously, the U.S. is a world superpower, and were you surprised that some of the pictures?
The U.S. is a world superpower, so therefore we should orchestrate coups in other countries, presumably for our own interest. Now, can you tell me how it's biblical to steal from other countries and steal their resources and murder their people? Can you tell me how that's biblical and pro-life? By your logic. Oh, wait, it looks like they don't give a fuck.
Pick up there was about, you know, your talk. Obviously, you've written about Venezuela a lot in your book.
Well, I think there are a lot of snowflakes out there that don't understand what you need to do to protect the United States. I'm not going to get into specifics. I did write about Venezuela in my memoir. And I think that any president that's not willing to do what it takes to protect the interest of the American people needs to have some counseling.
Ambassador, I do have to ask you also.
Actually, it's not necessary to protect America. In fact, it makes America unsafe. Al-Qaeda, America. Putin, America. The Iranian Revolution, the Islamic State, America. Like, all of our major adversaries were either created or supported by America at some point, and a result of blowback, of our own meddling, blowing up in our own fucking fat faces.
Lion, dog, face, pony show. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
The president of Mexico, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, met with President Biden on Tuesday. A few weeks ago, AMLO, as he's known for short, gave a press conference in defense of Julian Assange and said that he would discuss with Biden the Justice Department's ongoing prosecution of the WikiLeaks founder. But during his prepared remarks to the president in front of the press, AMLO didn't mention Assange, though the topic may have come up later during private meetings. AMLO, however, did use the opportunity to absolutely clown on Joe. AMLO spoke for about 30 minutes. He discussed the progressive reforms of FDR and how productive of a presidency it was in just the first 100 days. AMLO didn't explicitly contrast those accomplishments with Biden's failed presidency, but he didn't need to. It was implied. And then the Mexican president went on to talk about how gas is much cheaper in Mexico and that Americans are driving across the border to save money at the pump. AMLO's comments elicited just a chef's kiss reaction from President Biden.
En tanto baja el precio de las gasolinas en Estados Unidos.
In the meantime, while we're waiting for prices to go down,
se ha permitido que estadounidenses.
The fact that no American president ever speaks Spanish is actually pretty incredible. Like, isn't it incredible how we're such a multilingual country and none of our presidents can ever speak Spanish? It's actually remarkable how lazy that is. What a loser country. Didn't George Bush speak Spanish? Not really. Not really.
Que viven cerca de nuestra frontera puedan cargar sus automóviles del lado mexicano a menor precio.
We have.
Oh, by the way, we do know, actually, the evidence is that speaking Spanish doesn't change Hispanic voters' minds and actually scares white people. To be honest, there's a reason. Like, the evidence is pretty strong that, like, if you speak Spanish, it makes the white people like you less, but it doesn't make Hispanic voters like you more. So it's like not worth it, basically.
Decided that it was necessary for us to allow Americans who live close to the borderline so that they could go and get their gasoline on the Mexican side at lower prices.
Actualmente ya se están abasteciendo automovilistas de Estados Unidos.
I love him so much, man. Taunt Biden more. Taunt Biden more.
And right now, a lot of the drivers, a lot of the Americans are going to Mexico, to the Mexican border, to get their gasoline.
I mean, if it's $1 a gallon, chat, and your tank holds what? Roughly 15 gallons, 20 gallons, somewhere in that range. You save 15, 20 bucks if you bought it in Mexico. Depending on how long it takes you to go through the border, you know, that's more than minimum wage. It's, you know, worth it. 15 or 20. What kind of monster truck do that? I think a 16-gallon tank is pretty common, right? 13 to 16 gallons, size of average U.S. fucking gas tank. Eat shit, James Wade. I'm sorry you're not mechanically inclined, you fucking nerd. You bookworm. Go read another book, worm. Not mechanically inclined Andy. Doesn't know how big gas tanks are. Ah, fuck out of here. Oh, I can see James Wade on the side of the road with his, like, car has a flat. And he's like, I don't know how. I don't know how to change my tire. Please save me. Do you show some leg, James? Do you show some leg whenever you get a flat tire? You get some help on the side of the road? Stop bullying James. I bully James because I know James can take it.
The show ends this morning with a sunrise from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was sent in by Arius.
Sign of respect.
Enjoy.
Interesting. Very interesting. You know where the sunsets are really beautiful, chat? Pennsylvania. You see, in the Lehigh Valley, we have this company called Air Products. They make a lot of chemicals. They make a lot of all the space age chemicals you need to live that can barely be made anywhere else in the world. Some of the most advanced chemistry. And their pollution they create results in the most striking sunsets. You'll see hues of pink, purple, lavender, red, orange. Just the chemical. It's a veritable sky-spanning rainbow. Ask anybody who's been here. You know the sunsets here are sick. There was an orange sky out during summer storm the other day. The sunset as you cross the Benjamin Franklin to Philadelphia is quite stunning as the chemical mists spew. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Pennsylvania leads the world in best sunsets. By the way, how's my air quality today? How am I doing today? Hey, it's not bad. Hey, not bad. Did it rain last night? Did it rain last night? I didn't see. Would you look at that? Hey, look at that. We got some greens. We got a couple of greens. Look at that. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, hey. You got some green lights. You like to see that. Air Products isn't as bad as some other chemical plants in the greater Philadelphia. Well, of course not. I mean, yeah, Air Products is not bad. All right, let's give you some more Hogwatch.
I'm sure a lot of you are now aware, the other day the Georgia Guidestones were destroyed in some kind of a blast. One of the tablets with the commandments on them smashed to pieces, and the rest of the Guidestones were deemed a safety hazard and demolished by the state with a backhoe. Well, now police and the media are claiming that the Guidestones were destroyed in a bombing. There's video of the Guidestones being destroyed, and the most likely explanation isn't a bomb, but instead a lightning strike. There's a streetlight immediately next to the Guidestones, and at the exact moment that they are destroyed, the light brightens immensely, just like you'd expect.
That's what happens in an explosion, you stupid fuck! You can see the explosion! Oh my god, he's so...
Expect if there was an electrical surge. So the most likely case isn't a bombing, which so far authorities have released no evidence of, but instead the most likely explanation is lightning, which would also make perfect sense because it's entirely appropriate for God to personally destroy the Georgia Guidestones. Light brightens.
They showed a vehicle driving up, throwing a bomb, and then driving off.
And what Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner. The Democrats, more of our people vote early that count. Theirs voted mail. And so they're going to have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's going to take advantage of it. That's our strategy. He's going to declare himself a winner. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it's going to be a firestorm. We're going to have Antifa crazy, the media crazy, the courts are crazy, and Trump's going to be sitting there mocking, tweeting shit out. You lose. I'm the winner. I'm the king. And he'll be all over. He'll be going, where's Hunter? Is Hunter on a crack pipe? I mean, no, he'll be, because then it doesn't matter. Remember, here's the thing. After then, Trump never has to go to a voter again. He's going to fire Ray, the FBI director, and fire the seat. He's going to say, fuck you. How about that? Because he's never going to, he's done his last election. Oh, he's going to be off the chain. He's going to be crazy. Also, if Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be even crazier. No, because he's going to sit right there and say they stole it.
Agree.
I'm directing the Attorney General to shut down all ballot places in all 50 states. It's going to be no. He's not going out easy. If Biden's winning, Trump is going to do some crazy shit.
I mean, the confessions are so blatant. The confessions are so fucking blatant. It's ridiculous. All right, I want to show you this this TikTok, this hog TikTok. It's pretty fucking funny.
What's up, bro? I was just wondering, I want to give you $500 to prank call your mom. Tell her that you got a stripper pregnant.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, she's gonna freak out. I don't even know. For $500, I think she'd forgive me.
Hello?
Hey, Mom, can we talk?
No, what's going on?
I got a stripper pregnant. This girl, I don't know how it happened.
What are you freaking kidding me?
No, it was a mistake. I don't know. It was just one night, and then she just texted me and called me.
Where was this at?
It was just when I got up to BYU.
You are kidding me.
I don't know. What do I do, Mom?
Are you serious, Carson?
Yeah, Mom. I don't know what to do.
How would somebody know already?
But I don't know.
How would she know that she was pregnant?
I don't know. She just told me that she was.
Okay, well, tell her to go get an abortion.
For real?
Yeah.
But
Where did you
no.
find a stripper?
We were just hanging out with all of the guys, and then they wanted to go, and we met her out on the street. I don't know.
When? 2 days ago?
Okay, Mom, I'm kidding. Somebody just asked me to prank call you, and you say you give me $500 for it. I'm sorry, Mom.
He goes to lots
I
of
love you.
places, not just BYU.
She hung up on me.
So if you don't know this, chat, BYU is the religious college founded by the Mormon Church. Almost everybody at BYU is a devout Mormon. And just so you know, they're very pro-life. Okay? So, of course, for conservatives, their abortions are important. Their abortions are A-okay. All right, chat. I got one more thing to play you, and I'll be right back.
And Lee got to direct me so that I can continue this operation, because we have been given nothing but success, nothing but victory. It has been spectacular. And you, the viewers and listeners, you did this. And that's why when I salute you, I'm not into self-harming, but I just archetypally want to take this dagger and just cut a finger off right on air to show you how much I appreciate you and what you've done. Because giving up a finger to beat these people's nothing. You have changed the world. You have stood up against evil. You have turned the tide. And I salute you, and I thank you. And you've got that from the very bottom of my heart. You've got my full commitment, because you need to know in the universe there are real people. You need to know in the universe there's people like you who aren't evil, who don't serve Satan. That's why they all day say I'm an actor, all day say I'm a fake, all day say I'm a fraud with no evidence, because they know I didn't sell out to them.
I don't know. There's some evidence that you're a fraud. You got us all hot and bothered about you cutting off a finger, and then you chickened out, you wuss. Seems like kind of a fraud move, honestly. Kind of like an actor. Like you held it to your finger, but you didn't actually cut it off. You did what an actor would have done. Anyway, that's Alex Jones, the man who's had, in his words, nothing but success, nothing but victory, aside from all the court stuff and the lawsuits and all of that. Anyway, Jessica, he wants to reassure his audience that he appreciates their patronage. And so he will hold that, I think, oddly dinky dagger to his finger. And that's a
finger, his finger. If you,
I don't know.
The close shot.
Are you watching the stream unsubbed? You're making income inequality worse. You are doing anti-praxis. We are the only Twitch stream that will not accept scam advertisers, and I will never fuck you over by selling you crap